finishing up the back end of the 2008 4Runner today, and I was going to show you two parts that I installed, one of which goes in conjunction with that reverse pod light I had in another video. If you hadn't seen that video, please check out the channel on the Diode Dynamics reverse pod. That's it right there in the center of the hitch, but we were cleaning this vehicle up a little bit, and we did have a Class 3 hitch underneath the bottom. I'm giving this vehicle to my daughter. She doesn't really need that, and we're not going to tow with this anymore. But I did want to put that factory hitch on, and you can see it's a Toyota part number. It's 6 bolts that hold that on. The holes are already threaded from Toyota, and we wanted to have that spot for that light to go in. So that light just kind of snaps in on the sides. You can break those tabs and put a locking pin if you want to on there. Just to kind of show you a little bit too, because you can see from the top end where I'm tied into that 7-pin back here. So that's it with this wire loom right here. And that kind of just threads and goes through and comes through the center of the hitch right there. So if you do have the factory cutout on your bumper, this will fit right where that factory cutout is. If you do not, you're going to have to trim your factory bumper to fit. I think that there's 3 little spots, and it's that center spot that you can trim out to fit around this. So if you don't have the factory bumper for that spot, you will have to trim that. Mine does have that location, so we won't have to do any trimming. I will have to reinstall the bumper here in a minute, though. You can see I've got the bumper off. The other piece I just finished up today is this is a stainless steel tip. This is a Toyota branded tip, and I did actually paint the factory muffler black, so it's tucked up underneath there. I kind of went up about where it goes over the top of the axle. So to kind of show you what I do there, you're going to need to scuff that exhaust up. This is kind of what I use normally when I'm doing scuff work, and I want some paint to stick on there. So those are the brand I use. I'll have links to that in the description as well for the tip and for the hitch. I normally use 1200 degree paint. Rustoleum seems to be doing pretty good for me. I use this same paint on my F250 exhaust. So this is 1200 degree paint. And I kind of like that semi-gloss. I don't like a high gloss, but semi-gloss, you can see, does have a nice shine to it. This one does just bolt on. It kind of is cut out on the side right here, if you could see. And it's got a nice clamp that bolts that down. I like to tighten mine until this is kind of closed up. So if you are wondering how tight you should have it, that's about what I do on mine. And you're going to want that drain hole to the bottom, so any water that may collect will drip out. That does push all the way through on the other side, and this is a double wall pipe. So the other thing I did do is on the factory pipe, from this mark right here, I measured 2.5 inches. So I'm about right here. Factory pipe does come into this area a little bit here, so it's not just right at this edge. So that way the exhaust will just flow right out of this stainless steel tip. I'm not going to go into super detail on how to remove this bumper. There's other videos that do that, but just kind of describing to you. If you're not sure, you do have to take your mud flaps off. There's a series of screws in these fender wells. There's one that may be hidden for you up underneath. You're going to have to look for that one. Right here, it's just kind of clipped in. So if you've never taken it off, it's just 3 little tabs that kind of clip in. You're going to have a little tab that's pushed in here. And you're going to have, I think it's 6 bolts in these holes. You got to take those out. And then again, here on this other side, you've got that little clip that pushes in here. And you've got these tabs that it pops into right here. And then you're going to have that little hidden bolt here. And you've got a series of bolts to take your mud flap off there. And there's 2 bolts. I want to say there's bolts up underneath here. Now there's 2 on the rear down under here. So that's a quick rundown. If this information was useful or helpful, please subscribe and share. And that's to the point.